But in Ethiopia, officials haven't issued any flight bans. Ethiopia's national airline has announced that it is still going to continue flights to Nigeria. But officials say they've stepped up checks at the country's main airport. CCTV's Girum Chala reports.
A transport hub that sees itself as a rival Nairobi, Kenya has already stopped flights to the Ebola-hit regions. But Ethiopian Airlines says the chance of Ebola spreading on a plane is low. It doesn't fly to Liberia, Sierra Leone or Guinea, but flights to Nigeria will continue business as usual. That is not the case for passengers, though. Everyone coming from the west is being checked at a special quarantine center.
We have trained doctors here as well as health workers, and there are people who spray disinfectant chemicals also. So when passengers come, we diagnose them, and afterwards we spray chemicals on places where they have been inside this airport. That's how we are working here.
Passengers seem reassured.
And it's very good to take the people to check their healthy, and if it is somebody who was sick, you can emergency, you can take to the hospital here. It's good here.
Because of the lack of healthcare system in Africa, this could spread disease. Ebola could spread quite rapidly and quite quickly. So it's good to take precautions.
If your body temperature is more than 38.5, then there is a high chance of you having an Ebola virus in your blood. That is what these doctors are checking. And if you're wondering what mine was, it was just 36.
These airport medics are on Ethiopia's first line of defense against Ebola, but the capital is preparing for the worst. An isolation ward has been set aside at one of the main hospitals here. Girum, Chala, CCTV, Addis Ababa.